Section 6 of Bill and Doreen Get Hitched. Selections from The Songs of a Sentimental Bloke by Clarence James Dennis. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Son of the Exiles. Section 6. The Kid. My son, them words just like a blessed song is singin' in me 'eart the 'ole day long. Over and over, while I'm scared I'll wake out of a dream to find it all a fake. My son, two little words that yesterday was just two simple, senseless words to me. And now no man, not since the world begun, made any better prayer than that, my son. My sun and bloomin' air, ours, hers and mine. The finest kid in, the sun don't shine. There ain't no joy for me beneath the blue unless I'm gazin' lovin' at them two. A little while ago it was just me, a lonely longing streak of misery, and then 'twas her and me, Doreen, my wife, and now it's 'im and us, and such is life. And 'struth, 'e is king-pin, the 'ead serang. I mustn't tramp about or talk no slang. I mustn't pinch 'is nose or make a face. I mustn't — strike! 'E seems to own the place. Cunnin'? You'd think, to look into 'is eyes, 'e knew the game clean through, 'e seems that wise. With her and nurse 'e is the leadin' man, and poor old Dad's amongst the also-ran. Goo goo, 'e says, and curls 'is cunnin' toes. You'd be surprised the 'eaps of things 'e knows. I'll swear 'e tumbles I'm 'is father too, the way 'e squints at me and says goo goo. Why, s'mornin' 'ere 'is lordship gets a grip fair on me finger, give it quite a nip. And when I tugs 'e won't let go 'is 'old. 'Angs on like that, and 'im not 3 weeks old. Goo goo, 'e says, I'll swear you never did in all your natcheral see such a kid. The cunnin' ways 'e's got, the knowin' stare, there ain't a youngster like 'im anywhere. And when 'e gets a little pain inside, 'e's dead straight griffin, ain't to be denied. I'm sent to talk sweet nothin's to the fowls, while nurse turns 'andsprings every time 'e howls. But say, I'll tell you straight, I've been thro' 'ell. The things I thought I wouldn't dare to tell, lest in the tellin' I might feel again one little part of all that fear an' pain. It come so sudden that I lost me block. First it was 'ell for leather to the doc, 'oo took it all so calm 'e made me curse. An' then I sprints like mad to get the nurse. By gum, that woman, but she beat me flat. A man's just putty in a game like that. She owned me 'appy 'ome almost before she fairly got 'er nose inside me door. Sweatin' I was, but cold with fear inside. An' then to think a man could be denied 'is wife an' 'ome an' told to fade away by just one fat old nurse 'oo's in 'is pay. I was too weak wiv funk to start an' rouse. 'Struth, ain't a man the boss in 'is own 'ouse? You go an' chase yerself, she tips me straight. There's nothin' now for you to do but wait. Wait? God, I never knew what waitin' meant in all me life till that day I was sent to loaf around while there inside — strike! I couldn't tell you what that hour was like. 3 times I comes to listen at the door. 3 times I drags meself away once more, 'arf dead wiv fear, 'arf filled wiv tremblin' joy. An' then she beckons me an' says, "A boy." "A boy," she says, an' both is doin' well. I drops into a chair an' just says, "'Ell!" It was a prayer. I feels both crook an' glad. An' that's the strength of bein' made a dad. I thinks of church when in that room I goes, 'Oldin' me breath an' walkin' on me toes. For 'arf a mo' I feared me nerve 'ud fail To see 'er lyin' there so still an' pale. She looks so frail at first I dursn't stir. An' then I leans across an' kisses 'er. An' all the room gets sorter blurred an' dim. She smiles an' moves 'er 'ead. "Dear lad, kiss 'im." Near smothered in a ton of snowy clothes, First thing I sees a bunch of stubby toes. Bald 'ead, termater face, an' two big eyes. "Look, kid," she smiled at me, "ain't 'e a size?" 'E didn't seem no sorter size to me. But yet I speak no lie when I agree 'E is, I sez, an' smiles back at Doreen, "The biggest nipper fer 'is age I've seen." She turns away, 'er eyes is brimmin' wet. "Our little son," she sez, "our precious pet." An' then I seen a great big drop roll down An' fall, kersplosh, fair on 'is nibs's crown. An' still she smiles. "A lucky sign," she said. "Somewhere in some ole book one time I read, The child will sure be blest all thro' the years 'Oo's christened wiv 'is mother's 'appy tears." "Kiss 'im," she sez, an' I'm afraid to take Too big a mouthful of 'im, fear 'e'd break. An' when 'e gets a fair look at me phiz, 'E puckers up 'is nose, an' then — Gee whiz! 'Ow did 'e 'owl! In 'arf a second more Nurse 'ad me 'ustled clean outside the door. Scarce knowin' 'ow, I gets out in the yard An' leans against the fence an' thinks reel 'ard. A long, long time I looks at my two 'ands. They're all I got, I thinks. They're all that stands 'Twixt this 'ard world an' them I calls me own. An' fer their sakes I'll work 'em to the bone. Them vows an' things sound like a lot of guff. Maybe it's foolish thinkin' all this stuff. Maybe it's childish like to scheme an' plan. But, I dunno, it's that way wiv a man. I only know that kid belongs to me. We ain't decided yet wot 'e's to be. Doreen, she sez 'e's got a poet's eyes. But I ain't got much use fer them soft guys. I think we oughter make 'im somethin' great. A bookie or a champion 'eavy weight. Some callin' that'll give 'im room to spread. A fool could see 'e's got a clever 'ead. I know 'e's good an' honest, for 'is eyes Is jist like 'ers, so big an' lovin' wise. They carries peace an' trust where'er they goes. An' say, the nurse, she sez, 'e's got my nose. Dead ring fer me ole conk, she sez it is. More like a blob o' putty on 'is phiz, I think. But 'e's a fair 'ard case, all right. I'll swear I thort 'e wunk at me last night. My wife an' family, don't it sound all right? That's wot I whispers to meself at night. Some day I s'pose I'll learn to say it loud An' careless, kiddin' that I don't feel proud. My son! If there's a God 'oo's leanin' near To watch our dilly little lives down 'ere, 'E smiles, I guess, if 'E's a lovin' one. Smiles friendly like to 'ear them words, "My son." Section 6 Recording by Son of the Exiles